So that's half the day's work completed. I'm at Barca's training ground. As you can see, it's kind of nice out here. It's been a good experience, and obviously because I've been working for Champions League magazine, I can't just come on here and explain every single thing that Olmo and Raphinha said today, because that's who the two guests were. What I will tell you is that in this line of work, it's a huge pleasure to speak to people who are grown up and confident and articulate, and who genuinely want to speak about football. You get the impression from their side of things that when there's an interview that's not probing for a big headline or probing for something polemic, they relax a little bit and speak about their art. Some of the highlights were Raphinha talking about, as a 7-year-old, going to Ronaldinho's birthday party in Porto Alegre, I think thanks to Raphinha's dad, who was a musician and was part of the celebrations, and he took his 7-year-old kid along, just like I took my elder daughter Cara along to Johan Cruyff's back garden when I was interviewing him, and I forgot that I was babysitting her and her pal that day, and Johan Cruyff said, yeah, bring him in, I'll give him biscuits and juice, they can play in the back garden and we'll talk. Raphinha's dad did that for him, and Ronaldinho remains a big hero for Raphinha. Dani Olmo, you heard me in this series rabbiting on about my endless admiration for his ability to conjure space and then to use it brilliantly. He's back at this training ground where, as a kid, if you go back just over 10 years, he thought that reaching that first team dressing room was an impossible dream. He looked at Xavi and Messi and Iniesta and Busquets and thought, well, that isn't going to happen for me. Now, during the trajectory that he had in Zagreb and Leipzig, he began to believe that it absolutely was. But it's nice to be part of a, not completion of a circle. He very specifically talked about, I'm just here beginning now. You know, there are trophies to come. But that he went away, which I still think is quite a brave decision at that age, to go and live in Zagreb and put into practice everything that you've learned here at La Masia, and then triumph sufficiently to be back and to be a catalytic element in Barcelona's team. We've talked a lot in recent weeks about the importance of when Lamine Yamal is absent, when Marc Casado is absent. When Dani Olmo is playing, Barcelona are a completely different animal. The wrap up is to say that it was the Cup, Copa del Rey, all this week in Spain. There are lots of stories. Villarreal going out is one. So is Girona going out, but for a different reason. They were playing in Logroñés against Logroñés. In their team was a young defender called Pol, P-O-L, spelt the Catalan way. And his surname is Arnau. His dad was Francesc Arnau, a goalkeeper for Football Club Barcelona and Malaga, and then eventually, in the time when they won the league under Louis van Gaal, but then eventually director of football for Oviedo. And for various reasons, mental health and stress, he took his own life. Jumped in front of a train in Oviedo in 2021. His kid Paul was playing against Girona, which is where Francesc, the father, was born, and 0-0 during normal time, 0-0 into extra time. Logroñés had used all their substitutes. They took their goalkeeper, Kike, off the pitch with a concussion and were unable to replace him because in the cup the extra sub, because of the concussion rules, doesn't apply. Who went in goals? Young Paul Arnau. He saw them through the last part of extra time, and in the penalty shootout, Paul Arnau, son of Francesc Arnau, dived to his left, saved the penalty from Abel Ruiz, and ultimately Logroñés went through 4-3 in the penalty shootout. An emotional story, a brilliant story, one to honour the lost father, once a club employee here at Football Club Barcelona, and well done Paul Lozano. If you want to have a dark horse in the Copa del Rey this season, maybe make it Logroñés, for football and for sentimental reasons. This is Agent Bumper checking out. Mission complete. See you soon.